Oh, good evening, night owls, and thank you for allowing me into your living rooms once again. We've got an incredible show lined up for you tonight as we celebrate all of the fiendish fun of Halloween. Ooh.
You're listening to Fun with Horror with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrew, and my favorite time to watch a movie is late at night with the lights off.
And I'm Scotty, and I used to love the Jerry Lewis telethon.
Oh my God. We're going to come back to that because, well, I have notes. Anyway, welcome to episode 120 of Fun with Horror. This is the movie review podcast in which two long-distance best friends stay in touch by taking turns giving each other horror movies to watch, and then we discuss them for not only us, but for all of you lovely, lovely people out there as well.
They are lovely.
They are.
Last episode, I got to pick the movie, and I picked the very recent Late Night with the Devil. See, I tried to do that like you do it, like because when you say the name of a movie, you always like get really deep on the last word, but I can't do it like you.
Yes, you can.
Say it. Say the name of the movie.
Late Night with the Devil.
Oh my God. I'm so turned on right now. It's so good.
Thanks. I actually blacked out. What did I say?
Exactly. Anyway, hi, buddy.
Hi. How are you?
Stay tuned to the end of the episode, by the way, everybody, because Andrew is going to pick the next movie that he and I are going to talk about. But we'll also be talking. Yeah, it's yours. I picked
Shoot.
Late Night with the Devil, so
That's what I picked.
oh, good for our next movie.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, like a double
We're gonna
week.
do it again. Yeah, that's great. That's the makings of a great podcast.
I think so. Just every episode.
Every episode is Late Night with the Devil.
I mean, we do always review one movie every year. That's the same movie, but that's always
That would be amazing. What if we did that? What if we like just did the same movie for a whole year? Everybody's like, "Oh, finally!" The one person that's still listening is like, "I get to listen to a new movie next year."
And then we trick them, and it's the same movie, you fools. Ha!
And it's just cats.
It's just cats.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God! Can we do that?
I think we need to start a new podcast where we just discuss Cats.
Cats.
The musical.
We just watch it twice a month.
Yeah.
By the way, even I, who likes that movie, can't do it. I can maybe watch it once a year.
I have a hard time watching it once a year, but anyway.
Once a life.
Once a life, yeah. Oof.
Anyway, hey,
Yeah,
buddy, guess what?
Yeah. What?
We have reviews. New reviews
We do.
on
Oh
Apple
my-
Podcasts. This is amazing. The first review is by Robert Prudhomme, and it is titled Great Podcast. And he says, one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. I love the positivity, and they have great chemistry that makes for a very fun listen. Highly recommend.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Robert
Thank you.
Prudhomme is somebody who follows us on Instagram and Threads, and he always adds our podcast. Like he blasts different podcasts in his
Mhm.
Instagram stories. Always gives us a shout out. It's so nice. So Robert,
Awesome.
thank you so much, man.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you, Robert. That's amazing. Thank you.
Of course, you happen to say that, but Andrew and I have decided that starting with this podcast, everything is going to be completely negative.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And actually, we are re-editing every episode so far and we're just removing all the good and positivity in it. So a lot of them are only going to be about 3 minutes now, but I think people will enjoy it.
All the old ones will be 3 minutes. From now on, though,
Yep.
just an hour and a half of negativity. Nothing
Just
but.
the worst. Yeah. It's going to be awful.
Or the nativity.
Okay.
We're going to be negative about the nativity.
Oh, no. I mean, we are discussing Late Night with the Devil, so hey.
That's true.
Right? Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah, what's
Oh,
the
I was
next? We got a second review.
We got a second review. And this is from The Gore Score. The title is What a Wholesome Time. I love that. And it says, Andrew and Scotty have some of the best chemistry. I look forward to a new episode every week. Thanks for making my work days easier. And then a little ghost emoji.
Ooh.
Ooh. That's so sweet. Thank you. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I love it when people call us wholesome.
I know.
But funny enough, Andrew, starting with this episode, we are not going to be wholesome anymore.
Nope. It is going to be absolute anarchy, guys. Just the worst.
Explicitness.
Yep.
We're actually going to say boobs instead of breasts.
Wow. I need to go. I need to get some soap for your mouth, mister. Wow.
It's going to be so good. I love you.
Aww.
All right. So let's talk about late night. Oh, yeah. You got to say so.
I got something to say, man. I never have anything to say at the beginning, but I do this time. All right.
Everybody listening, get ready because Andrew has something to say.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I forgot. All right. We can start the movie. No, no, I bought, and I know you have this, but I was going to text you about it, but I said, no, this is a podcast conversation. When I'll play it, I don't know. But I saw it was a deal, I think, on Amazon for the board game, single player board game, Final Girl. And so I bought 2 of them with the core box. And I haven't played it yet, but I've read through the rule book and it looks so fun. I really, really want to play. And you have them, right? You have?
I have every single feature film. I have the boxes. I have everything. I play this game quite a bit.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you have wave 1 and wave 2?
I do. And I'm going to
do the third Kickstarter.
I'm going to pledge. Well, I will. I need some money first.
That's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm working my ass off just so I can afford Final Girl.
Yeah, no, I get it. Oh, that's awesome.
Have you played it yet?
No, not yet. Like I said, I don't know when, but because the rule, I want to kind of get the rules. It's like 35 pages of rules in this book, and I want it down a little bit at least so I can kind of go in and play the right way. So but man, I love this. These boxes are amazing. The little maps are awesome. I want to get the figurines at some point because I think that'll just add the experience. And it does. I would think so because I don't know. It's just, I love it though. I love the lore behind this. So yeah, I'm really excited to play it. And I will probably ask you questions.
Yeah,
I'm sure I will do something wrong.
Everybody go out. If you don't know about this board game, it's called Final Girl. It's by Van Ryder Games, and it's a solo single-player board game. I actually play it with our friend JD.
Oh, nice.
Because it is maybe the only single-player board game I've ever played that actually works well with 2 people working together to help the final girl win the game.
Nice. I kind of had that suspicion as well, looking at it.
Wait, which feature films did you get?
So I got 2. So I got Camp Happy Trails, which I was told was kind of a good one to start with, a little less rules. So what happened is I got the Carnival one. I'm totally drawing a blank.
But I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, where it's a Geppetto and he has puppets and stuff. And I joined like a Facebook group that is a fan of this, and I said, hey, I got this. I'm really excited. And they said, you're going to die right away. They said, go get that Camp Happy Trail and start a little easier before you jump in. And I said, okay, I'll do that. So
you messed up big this time, pal.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, they were really funny. Everyone was really nice, but every one of them was like, you're going to die immediately. Like, definitely start a little bit easier so you can understand it. I said, okay, that's fair. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, those are the 2 though, but there's definitely looking at them. There's plenty more I want, and the art is beautiful. They're just really kind of these beautiful boxes. I love them.
We're going to talk more about this off microphone because
yes,
if we really get into the intricacies of this game, we're going to bore everybody.
That's fair.
And I think now they want to hear about Late Night with the Devil.
Let's do this.
Interest in the occult has seen a major revival in recent years. This is true. You open any newspaper today, you're going to see hundreds of ads for psychics or fortune tellers. exorcists even. Whoa!
Late Night with the Devil was directed and written by Cameron and Colin Cairnes. It stars David Dastmalchian as Jack Delroy, Laura Gordon as June Ross Mitchell, Ian Bliss as Carmichael Haig, Fayssal Bazzi as Christu, Ingrid Torelli as Lily, Rhys Auteri as Gus McConnell, and a little cameo, Michael Ironside as the narrator.
Oh, I did not get that. That's awesome.
I found that out last night.
That's cool. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. All right. Well, before we jump into this and start talking about everything,
Yes.
anyone listening, this is your spoiler warning. We are going to talk anything and everything about Late Night with the Devil. So if you have not seen it and you're okay with spoilers, stick around. You don't want spoilers, go watch it and come right back to this moment right now on the podcast. But otherwise, we're going to spoil it.
And we're going to spoil it right now because it's time for the 3-minute recap. Are you ready?
I guess.
Well, hey, I've done it twice in a row.
Yeah, but I did
So-
it 97 times in a row. So
That's true. 97. So this will be number 100.
look at you and your math.
Yay.
Hey, I got it. Hey, I picked up what you were putting down.
Thanks, buddy.
You're
Put it back down.
welcome. Sorry. Ouch.
Okay, so as we do, I'm
Mhm.
going to roll a virtual 20-sided dice. If it's odd, it's going to be you. If it's
Yes.
even, I'll be doing it. So
Oh,
I'm
boy.
going to start hitting roll. You tell me when to stop. I'm rolling.
Stop.
Number 14.
It's
I'm doing it.
you. Yeah. Wow.
Oh boy, how do I do this?
Well, just so you know, again, you have
Oh,
3
yeah,
minutes, and
3 minutes.
I did maybe conjure up a demon to come and get you if you do it over
Which
3
one?
minutes. Pazuzu, actually, of all demons, it was Pazuzu.
You got Pazuzu back because
I did
remember-
get Pazuzu back.
remember I called Pazuzu for your 3-minute recap of The Exorcist.
Yeah, he did not like you very much, so he did it at a discount. So yeah, just heads up, you might want to do it in 3 minutes or under.
It's pretty cool not getting the actual demon from this movie.
Nope, I got Pazuzu.
I'm wondering if you even remember the demon's name from this movie.
Nope.
Good job. Good thing I do because I'm doing the 3-minute recap. Are you ready?
Yep, we're transparent here at Fun with Horror, everybody. Uh,
Well, we're transparent when we call each other out.
that's right. I love you.
I love you.
All right, get on with it.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Late Night with the Devil centers around talk show host Jack Delroy. Jack Delroy is a talk show host in the 70s, in the heyday of talk shows with Johnny Carson and whatnot. He's gone through a time. He started his show. He started his show. What happens next? This is kind of hard to talk about
This one's
because
tough,
of the
man.
format of the movie. Anyway, so he started
Yeah.
his talk show, but he was always behind Johnny Carson in the late night ratings. At one point, his wife is getting sick. She has cancer and she passes away. He takes I forget how long, month break.
Something like that.
Month break from the show. But then he comes back just suddenly before people even expected him to. His ratings are still below Carson, so they're trying all these different things. They're trying to do like shocking stuff on the show. It's just not working. Somehow he's just always behind Johnny Carson. So they decide to have this amazing show on Halloween, October 31st, 1977. This movie is basically that show. You're watching the show that they put on, plus some behind the scenes stuff during the commercial breaks. The whole point of this show is that he's going to have on June Ross Mitchell, who has written a book called Conversations with the Devil. And it is about this little girl who was caught. She survived this fire of this cult group that worshipped the demon Abraxas. Abraxas, Andrew.
Yep, no, that's the one. That's why. Yeah, I know.
This girl is the only person that survived this fire that we'll talk about later. June Ross Mitchell has been talking to this girl because this girl seems to be possessed by this demon, Abraxas. So Jack has brought both of them onto the show, along with a skeptical guy who does stage magic and hypnotism, and another guy named Christu who claims to be able to speak to the dead. The centerpiece of this show happens. Christu comes out. He claims to speak to the dead, but then has this weird moment where he hears the name Minnie, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Minnie. And then Carmichael Haig comes out and doubts. He starts to try and debunk everything. He's got a check that he's going to give to somebody if they can prove supernatural things beyond a shadow of a doubt. Christu suddenly is feeling sick. He pukes black bile and is taken away by an ambulance. We later soon find out that he died on the way to the hospital from excessive hemorrhaging. Then they bring on June and Lily, the little girl possessed by the devil. They perform I don't know what you call it. It's not really a seance. It's a ritual. Where they bring out Abraxas to talk, and you see Lily become possessed by this demon Abraxas. Well, things happen. Then Carmichael Haig says that it was all a farce. None of it actually happened, and he'll prove it. So he performs this mass hypnotism of not only the people in the studio, but everybody at home, where we believe that Gus, who is Jack Delroy's assistant, we see him taking worms out of his skin and out of his stomach and unbuttoning his shirt and all this. But then Carmichael Haig has them play back the tape, and we find out that he hypnotized everybody to believing that. But when they play back the tape of the demon coming out of Lily, we see that it's real. And then suddenly things descend into chaos. Lily becomes like this electrical conduit where Abraxas comes out and her head splits open, and there's this really cool, like she's looking like a electronic demon something, and she proceeds to kill Carmichael Haig. She proceeds to kill Gus. She even proceeds to kill June Ross Mitchell. And then we see kind of a dream sequence. The show seems to be over, but it's not really, because we see Jack Delroy and we see him going back over his career. But then we see him doing some kind of a ritual. It ends with him in bed with his wife who is dying. And we come to realize that he had made a deal with the devil, basically, that he wanted to be the most famous person in the world, and he would sell his soul for that. Well, what that meant is that the devil would take the life of his wife because she was given cancer. By the devil, she died. And in this dream sequence, she's asking Jack Delroy to kill her with this sacrificial knife. He stabs her in the stomach, but then he comes out of his fugue state and he has actually stabbed Lily, the little girl. So he's gotten his wish. He is now going to be the most famous man in late night history. The end.
That was perfect. That was just under 3 minutes. So I just texted Pazuzu. He still hates you, but not going to hurt you. So.
What about Abraxas?
I do not actually have Abraxas's number. Yeah, I don't. So if you can find it for me.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. That being said,
when we do a movie that has nothing to do with demon possession.
Maybe our next one. Ooh. But I'll never tell until the end of the episode. But what do you think? What did you think of Late Night with the Devil, buddy?
Buddy, this movie was fantastic.
Nice.
I love this movie. It was so much fun. Everything about it. I can't wait to talk about it, because even watching it the second time, I liked it even more. I really enjoyed this movie. What about you?
I did too. I really liked it. Yeah, there's one part that I want to discuss that I was like, but it really is a good movie. It's very well made. It's a cool, unique movie. Very unique, I think, in the way that it was made. Yeah, I really liked it. So I'm with you. Yay, we liked it.
We did. That's interesting, though. You have a quibble.
Yeah. We'll just jump.
I'm wondering if it's, for me, it's not really, I don't know if it's a quibble, what I'm thinking of. So let's see if we're thinking of the same thing.
So really, honestly, about 4/5 of the movie, I'm like, this is no. This is like a great movie. And then the dream sequence happens, and it
Oh.
totally took me out of it. And it was very just different than everything else. And I was like, I don't know. Hearing you talk about it kind of made me like it a little more, I think. I don't know. But I just was like, it just took me out from this formula we kind of had. Even though we see all this anarchy with the demon and stuff, it just, I don't know, just took me out of it a little bit. And I was like, oh, shoot. I don't know if I
That's not
liked
what
it.
I was going to mention at all.
What was yours?
Because I actually like the ending. Since
Okay.
we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I think to me the ending to me is the devil hypnotizing Jack, but at the same time hypnotizing us, the audience, as well.
Oh.
So he's showing us, he's like, look what this guy did.
Right.
Look what Jack did to become a famous late night guy.
So then my question to you, did all of that stuff happen then with the demon? Like, was that all real? Because the bodies are still there of everybody when Jack wakes up from his fugue state and is stabbing
Yeah.
her. They're still dead bodies. So did that happen, or did Jack kill them? You know, I mean, was that
No, that all happened.
okay?
The demon killed everybody, and then when the show seemingly ended and it said we'll be right back, then at that point we start to see like Jack's dream and
Okay.
him going over like that weird sequence,
Right. Okay.
which I'm with you. Actually, the first time I watched the movie, I wasn't sure how I felt about that,
Mm-hmm.
but then when I watched it the second time, it made way more sense to me.
Okay.
So it's one of those things. Watching a movie
Yeah.
a second time really helps sometimes.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. I mean, other than that, though, really, I mean, I really enjoyed it. But what was your quibble though? What did you have?
So my only one, and it's hard to call this a quibble because we both love practical effects.
Right. Oh yeah.
There's the part where Gus is being hypnotized by Carmichael Haig. The audience is being hypnotized as well, and
Right.
he starts to get hot. And at first, the makeup effects were great when
Right.
his cheeks and his neck were like red spotted.
Mm-hmm.
But then he starts to dig into his neck, and even that still looked good. But then when he opens his shirt and you see his stomach and he's about to dig in, the practical effects were obvious. Like you can see it's kind of like the Kevin Bacon scene in Friday the 13th.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
The effects are great, but you can see the discoloration between the prosthetic and his actual skin.
Yeah. Fair. Yep.
And then even like when the worm comes out of his head,
Yeah.
it's really cool and I love it. But at the same time, it does look like it kind of, and that's what I'm thinking. Is it supposed to look like cheesy 80s
Right. Maybe.
practical
Yeah.
effects? But there's nothing that clues us into that being purposeful,
Right. True. Right. I don't know, but I get it. I totally get that, and I did notice a couple of moments like that too, in that moment. So I totally get it.
And like I said, I love practical effects, so I'm not even sure I consider it a quibble.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a tiny one. Tiny.
Yeah. There you go. It's just a baby one.
Now, did you hear the supposedly cool box office news when this movie came out the first
No.
weekend? Variety ran an article that said that the Sunday that this movie premiered in theaters, it made $666,666.
Nuh-uh.
So I looked it up. The article's still there. The directors even said, we're not sure if they rounded up or not, but it's
Right.
a cool story
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
because Box Office Mojo has
Mhm.
it making $660,375 on Sunday.
Okay.
So it's close enough, I guess. But
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That
yeah.
was cute.
We'll round up a
That was
little bit.
cute.
That's funny. Oh my gosh, I love it.
what did you think about all of the damn studio logos at the beginning of this movie?
My gosh, I said that. I said to Cindy, I was like, oh, I guess every single company made this movie because it just kept going.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh.
It was like that's the movie. It's
Yep.
just is the studio logos.
Yep. Family Guy a long time ago did a joke about that. And it totally brought it up where they're watching a movie and it keeps doing the logos and he's like getting excited. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it is. Oh, and I kept doing the same thing. I was like, oh, here we go. Oh, it was the exact same thing.
That's hilarious. I actually wrote down all of them.
Did you really?
So here's all of the studios, and every single one has a logo at the beginning of this movie.
Yes.
We have IFC Films,
Mm-hmm.
Shudder,
Mm-hmm.
Image Nation Abu Dhabi,
Mm-hmm.
Vic Screen, Good Fiend Films, which was my favorite because that was the
Yes.
one.
Yep.
The kid watching out the window, whatever.
Super cool.
Cinetic, AGC Studios, Future Pictures, and that was a cute one too because it says since 2068.
Oh,
The future.
That is cute.
And then finally Spooky Pictures, but that's 9 different studios.
And
that
they all
help
have
make
their
this
little
movie.
like spiel thing at the beginning, their little
Yeah.
whatever. So I
Their
mean,
little logo.
yeah, and it takes a second. So it really did take forever. It felt like. Yeah, I'm right there with you though. Wild.
Now right away we see the first of many little hidden images. And that's one thing I wanted to ask you about.
Mm-hmm.
So we see the TV at the beginning in the
Right.
studio, and it's got snow in the picture.
Right.
And it's the first time. Did you notice the image of the devil in the snow
Not that time. I noticed it later.
at the end?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
didn't
'cause
notice it there.
At the end, the TV takes up the whole screen.
Right.
But at the beginning, it's
yeah.
smaller and it's more subtle.
Oh, I did not catch it. That's awesome.
And I tell you what, I noticed it a couple times the first
Mhm.
time I watched it, but man, his wife's ghost makes an appearance a ton in this
Oh,
movie.
really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, when did you notice her? I mean, okay, so we're not talking the obvious one where they
right.
play back the video and she's standing behind him when they
Yeah.
freeze frame it. What about the other ones?
I honestly think that was the only time I saw her. I didn't ever see her before that. So this is awesome.
Holy crap.
Yeah, lay it on me.
So first, Christu, and this may not be all of them either. These are the ones I saw.
Right.
When Christu is talking to the family,
Yes.
the mother and the daughter, there's a moment where because we're supposedly watching a videotape
Right. Right.
of that night.
right.
And there's little glitches throughout this tape. Every time those glitches happen, something happens in the studio, by the way.
Mm.
So in this moment, it was so cool. I didn't notice this till the second time, but when he's talking to them,
Mhm.
there's a moment where the video glitches and then it shows Delroy, and very faintly standing next to him is a ghostly figure of his wife.
That's cool. Oh my gosh, I did not catch that.
Then during the first commercial break, he's backstage talking to, I think, his manager or his agent.
Yeah.
Then the stagehand comes to get him, and as they're walking back, there's a tall mirror that Delroy looked at himself in.
Mhm.
And as they're walking by, his wife is in that mirror.
Dope. That's awesome.
There is the part where they're all sitting on the stage and they have all the different things that they retained from the cult or whatever, with the sacrificial knife and the mirror and stuff. And there is a moment where you see his wife's face in that mirror.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't notice that?
I didn't catch any of these, dude. Wow.
Man.
I'm disappointed in myself, but also I'm excited to kind of watch this again. That's awesome.
You should. There's the part during the ritual,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's a part where Abraxas, taking over Lily, looks back at Delroy and says something, and there's a quick flash, and his wife's face flashes on her head.
That one I caught. That was the one I
Okay.
caught. Yes. Because it was right before they do all this stuff. But yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
I saw.
And that one is cool because it's very reminiscent of the Pazuzu flashes in
Totally.
The Exorcist.
Yep.
And there's one more. So there's the part where Gus is telling Carmichael Haig backstage that Christu died.
Right. Yes.
There's a TV with snow on it behind Carmichael Haig, and there's a quick flash of his wife in that as well.
That's awesome.
So,
That's
yeah, it's
awesome. I
very
love that. That's so cool. When I've told you that, I love things like that where it's something in the background that that's so quick and blink and you miss it kind of moment. And so I'm excited. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now, let's talk about something else that's kind of like the elephant in the room that you may not know about, but
Okay.
it was talked about the weekend or the week after this movie released. So, during the show,
Mhm.
and this is going to be another little quibble I have.
Okay. Okay.
During the movie, when they go to commercial break, there's like the little "we'll be right back" cards or night owls. Like,
Right.
so 3 of those were done with AI.
Oh.
One of them you can pretty much tell because the one that says night owls with the skeleton dancing with the pumpkins around them, the pumpkins look very much like AI art.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a big to do the week after where people were like some people were saying boycott the movie because they used AI.
Whoa.
I am against AI art. I hate it.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Yeah.
I believe it looks bad, first of all.
Right.
It's usually pretty obvious that it's AI art.
Right.
These weren't so obvious, most of them, but I also don't like the idea of AI art learning from actual artists that did not give
Exactly.
their permission.
That's what I don't like, is it's taking from
Yeah.
people that have worked very hard. So
Yeah.
I don't like that.
There's the argument of whether somebody should use AI art when there are plenty of real artists that could do the work.
Right.
And that's the argument that the directors made about this movie, is that they put so much work into this. This movie was tough enough to make anyway.
Right.
You wouldn't believe the budgetary issues that they had trying to make this movie, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So at the last second, when they needed these title cards, they used AI art, and then they transformed that, blah, 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 into these title cards. And most of the time I hate AI art, but I will say I have to be honest that I did like the title, the individual cards. I liked
Mhm.
them. I like the style of them.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that they should replace them with real art that's very similar.
Yeah.
But that's actually done by an artist. Like, that's what people have been saying. You should replace it.
Yeah.
And the directors have said they don't know if they'll do that or not. Blah, blah, blah. It was a time and place type thing. It was at the
Right.
beginning of the argument about AI art. They were making this movie around before the strikes, I believe. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, I'm just getting that out of the way.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know any of that. So thank you.
But other than that,
Hmm.
I loved the look of this movie.
Yeah, me too. I even at one point I said, and I get why it's this way, but I almost felt like especially with kind of the sound design from this movie and how it was filmed, I felt like I was watching a play, which I
Yeah.
loved. I genuinely loved that. I grew up doing plays. I love theater. So like for me, as I was watching, I was like, it's like watching a play. It's just fun. You hear someone in the background cough, and it sounds like exactly what you would, like I said, the sound design sounds like you're sitting in the theater hearing someone cough for that reaction from the actor. So I loved that idea of it. I just kind of thought it was fun to watch it. Like I said, it was just unique. I liked it.
I liked it too. Yeah. The whole look, the sound, like you're talking about, I thought it was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go straight to David Dastmalchian. Oh my God.
Dude, come on. He's the best.
We've talked about him before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I got to admit, like, I told you one day I went to the local coffee shop, Horror Vibes Coffee.
Yeah.
And David was there talking to
Nice.
some people. Who knows? It may have been about this.
Ooh.
But I was a little starstruck. I was like, oh my God, that's David Dastmalchian. I love him.
That's awesome. I saw him once back when I was in LA at Barnes and Noble. I walked right next to him and I was like, that's the guy from The Dark Knight. And that was
yeah,
it.
Yeah, The Dark Knight.
Yeah, because it was about that time. I was like, oh, cool.
And now he's been in Blade Runner 2049. He's been in
everything.
He has been in everything. Dune, the new Dune. He was in Dune.
Nice. Ant-Man. He's been in
Ant-Man.
Marvel movies. I mean, yeah, he's been in everything. It's wild. So correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe this is something I made up or had a dream about. I don't know. But I thought I read somewhere that he made a production company to make movies because he loves horror movies so much and he wanted to focus on those. Is that true? Do you know?
I'm going to tell you that it is because I've never heard of it, but
Okay.
it sounds believable to me.
Because I mean, obviously he's like a Chainsaw Ward's host. I mean, he loves horror.
Yeah.
So I think I read that, which I'm like, that's really cool.
I'm
if
pretty
that's
sure
true.
that's true.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Also, he has a new interview show that I think it's on Instagram, but it's
Oh, cool.
really cool. It's called Grave Conversations.
Nice.
And he actually has two coffins laying side by side, and he's laying in one and his interview subject is laying in the other. And that's how they have a conversation.
That's amazing.
I think he just did one with Mike Flanagan. So,
Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool. That'd be a good one. That's awesome. Yeah, what a cool
Yeah.
guy. Like, seriously, I love it.
but he was so good in this movie.
Yeah, he was.
He played a late night talk show host so well.
Yeah.
And Rhys Auteri as Gus, his
Mhm.
like his assistant, his
Right.
McMahon, you know?
There you go. Yep, exactly.
He was so good too. Like the way that they played off each other, it just
Mhm.
was so realistic and it felt authentically 70s as well.
I 100% agree with you. I even turned to Cindy. We were watching this, and I was like, "This is honestly like watching a late night show right now. Like, I feel like we're watching a real one. It's totally true. They did a great job on this.
I honestly would love and will probably watch this on Halloween night, late at night.
Nice. That's awesome. Yes,
Like it's perfect.
it really is.
But it totally brought me back to that time. Like, I'm old compared to you. And
27 years
remember-
old. That's it. That's all you are.
okay, and you're 25, so I'm
That's
a
right.
lot older than you.
Just 2 years. That's fine.
And my 27-year-old body remembers late night TV in the 70s. But no, I remember being a kid and I remember my parents watching Carson every night.
Nice.
Watching this movie transported me back to that time,
Oh, that's awesome.
It transported me back to how it felt. Because as a kid, here's a weird thing. As a kid, I felt like I was getting away with something when Carson would come on. Because he's
That's
on
awesome.
late, and I felt
Mhm.
like I should be in bed. But no, I'm watching Johnny Carson. This is great.
That's I love that, Scotty.
Right?
My heart. Oh, that's so sweet.
And now call back to something I said in the intro.
Uh-huh.
I felt the same way on Labor Day about the Jerry Lewis telethon.
Oh,
For me, I had no idea what Labor Day meant, the
Uh-huh.
holiday, whatever.
yeah.
All I knew is that night, the Jerry Lewis telethon would come on and it would play all night and into the next day. It would play 24 hours. And I would stay up all night, mostly watching the telethon. I'd have it on. I'd probably be doing other things, but that was my night to stay up all night. And it felt like I was doing something reckless.
I love that. So this is we always have weird things, man.
Yeah.
This makes me so happy, and I love you even more because you and I didn't watch the trailer to this. We didn't, right? I
No.
mean, going into
No,
it,
heck no.
I didn't know what it was about. I just knew that it was like a 70s. That's really all I knew. I thought it was sort of a Jerry Lewis telethon. I truly thought it was a telethon movie and that they were going to have acts on, throughout this telethon, and then something happens. So
Yeah.
it just makes me laugh that you brought that up when I genuinely thought that that's what this movie was going to be until a week ago or whenever I watched it. That's wild.
That's great.
That's
That is
wild.
awesome.
I love it. I love you, dude. That's amazing.
I love you, buddy.
Nah.
I think before I saw this, I knew it was about a late night talk show.
Hmm.
And I knew that there was a demon possession. And that's about it.
Nice.
So speaking of,
Yeah.
I'm going to text you a couple of pictures. I totally forgot. I should have texted you these when we were talking about the ghosts.
Oh, okay.
But I sent you a couple of hidden pictures, and we'll talk about one of them in a little bit. But look at the black and white one when you get it.
That's awesome. How did I miss that?
It happens really fast as they're walking
Okay.
by the mirror. So for everybody out there, I sent Andrew a picture of Minnie's ghost in the mirror during the first commercial break of the movie.
That's awesome. Those are both great.
We'll talk about the second one in a little bit
Okay. All right.
because that is also like kind of a hidden thing, and I can't believe let's talk about it now.
Okay. I caught that.
You did catch it. Well,
I got that.
It's not hidden. So the
Right.
second picture I sent Andrew, or I sent you, is during I always want to call it exorcism, but it's
I know. Like ritual
during
or
the ritual.
Yeah, I don't know what else you'd call it.
During the conversation with the devil.
Like late
But even though it's not the devil, it's a demon.
Right.
Named Abraxas.
Yeah.
No, Andrew.
Sorry.
Anyway, there's a moment where June has been talking to the demon Abraxas inside Lily.
Mm-hmm.
This conversation has happened, and then she slaps Lily because she's saying some awful things.
Mm-hmm.
Lily is leaned over, her hair's covering her face, and she's crying. She's like, "Why would you do that to me?" And June reaches out. She's like, "Lily, I'm sorry." And at that moment, Lily like sits up and goes rawr, like she's gonna bite June's hand or something. And it's really quick, but you see that Lily's face is transformed.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when you freeze frame it, you really see how cool that looks.
It really does look cool. I did not freeze it, and that's pretty awesome.
It's
it really
hard to
is
see.
cool.
It's hard to see in motion.
Yeah, that's
so
creepy.
Yeah, so I sent you a picture because I wanted you to see it, and I think, on the contrary of those weird Gus practical effects, there's something like this where they went to all that trouble to make this incredible looking demon face on Lily's head.
Right.
And they went to all this trouble for something that is very hard to even see when it's playing back at normal speed.
But it was for people like you that pause it and see it and send it to your co-host. Like that was for the fans right there.
Are you saying they made Late Night with the Devil for me?
They did. Did they not give you that letter too? I'll read it to you later. They sent one to me.
David's like, I saw that guy with the Fun with Horror t-shirt in Horror Vibes Coffee.
That's right.
And I wanted to make this movie for him.
That's exactly what it was. But he was too nervous to talk to you. It could have been such a meet cute. Dang it.
Did you notice? So let's go back to the story of this movie. Because the whole deal is that, so there's this whole setup, this like documentary style lead up to what we're about to watch. And we learn that Jack Delroy is part of this, what they call a rich men's group called the Grove.
Yes.
And they get together in the woods and they have these retreats. But we learn later on that this is probably not as innocent as it seems. It's likely part of this cult. It's an extended branch of it. I do like that, first of all, when we learn of, so this was another great scene. The scene at the beginning where he has his wife on the talk show.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
In this scene, David Dastmalchian's acting is incredible.
Yeah, agreed.
Because he plays this talk show host so perfectly. The way she starts to say a story and he's like, oh my goodness, and the way that's the thing he does perfectly. He plays to the studio audience of the show,
right,
while also playing to his guest and to Gus.
Right.
And I love the way he does that when he's talking to the audience, when he's talking to the TV, the way he looks over at his guest and includes them in it, like talk show hosts like to do.
Yep.
It's just these mannerisms that he just captured so perfectly.
Yep. I noticed he did it so well. I mean, that scene, yes. But when he was doing his kind of opening monologue jokes, every single joke he made or every quip, he would do like a motion or a move or look at someone. And it was the same thing. I was like, this is exactly Late Night. Like he's doing it so well. It's perfect. Every mannerism was there. It was awesome.
It was just, I can't get over how good that was. But anyway, so during this opening documentary thing, they talk about how he disappears from Late Night for a little bit. Oh no, even before that, sorry. Before that, they talk about him signing a 5-year contract.
Right. Yes.
And I love that especially if you have headphones on, which I did, you hear somebody, as they're filming him walking by in the street, somebody says, what'd you have to sacrifice to get where you are today? And it's like, what did he have to sacrifice?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
There's also a really cool thing. There's a fake cover of the Hollywood Observer magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
At the bottom of it, it lists UBC's movie of the week, Hail Abraxas.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. One thing I want to bring up too, since we're kind of talking about it.
Yeah.
But the whole beginning, I don't know, background of him, where it's talking about it. I think in movies, kind of exposition like that can be done really well or really badly. This one I thought was perfect. I liked that it set up the movie. I liked that it was almost like this documentary style, which I think works when they give that information. You're like, well, of course, this is sort of like a documentary they're doing. They have to give this info. It works. And so I loved it. I sat there and I was like, this is a great way to do exposition in a movie. Like, this is the right way to do it. And so I loved it. I thought that whole intro was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah. I loved all the characters too that we see in this movie. The guy who plays, or the guy, Christu.
Oh, he was great, man. Christu. Yeah.
He was so good. Once again, the actor's name is Fayssal Bazzi. Hope I'm saying it right, but yeah. He was great. I love the way that when things got serious, his accent disappeared.
Yes. Yep. It was perfect. Yeah. I loved that.
I loved when he just spewed black bile all over Carmichael Hague.
Yep.
And so let's talk about Carmichael Hague, because this guy was great too, and he was so annoying.
Yes.
But at the same time, it was a case where I thought his character was annoying.
Right.
But I thought he as an actor was playing it really well.
Agreed. Yep. I 100% agree with you.
And that's another thing that worked for me. Because especially him, June at a couple times, they say their lines and it kind of sounds like they're reading their lines.
Mm-hmm.
But it works in this format of a movie because they're also both, even though June is trying not to as much, they're still performing for an audience.
Right.
You know?
That's
but yeah, I thought Carmichael Hague was great. I thought he was infuriating at times.
I agree.
He was just constantly like getting on to trying to, no matter what happened, he was just trying to berate everybody and calling them hacks and stuff like that.
And I love though how David's character like kind of is like, okay, like I like how he's still doing it for the crowd of like, okay, stop that, but he's also saying it to like knock it off. I liked how he did it. He still played it well where it was, I don't know, I don't know. He just did a good job.
Well, his character, Jack knows that it's good TV.
Right, right.
But at the same time, you notice the part where he gets serious with Carmichael and he says, okay, cut it out.
Yeah.
When Carmichael brings up Christu saying the word Minnie. Sorry, I keep saying Millie.
Minnie, yeah.
And that's when Jack gets serious because obviously we find out that when Christu heard the voice Minnie, nobody says anything right away. But then we find out that is the pet name that Jack gave his wife.
Right.
So he called her Minnie. And so things got serious with Jack right away.
Right. Yeah, it was great.
So we have Christu. We've talked about Christu. Carmichael comes out, and Carmichael's there for the rest of the show. But then, we have the centerpiece. What did you think of Lily, the girl?
I liked her. So she played the part because I wasn't sure at first. I was like, I'm not sure what this character is like all about. But once you kind of see what's going on and everything, I was like, oh, I like this. Like she's playing it it could have been a lot, depending on the actor or actress or whatever that's doing it, it could have been too much. But I feel like she did a good job. I liked her. Like, I feel like she was creepy, but also like she's kind of, she's got like almost a split personality going on. She's got some stuff going on. So I liked her. I liked the character. I thought, yeah, she was fun to watch. She's creepy.
Yeah, I agree. She was great.
Yeah.
I love the fact that she's looking out at the crowd. Not the crowd, but us, the audience. She's looking right into the camera.
Yes. Yep.
In a very creepy way. And we think that at first she's just kind of enamored with the camera. Like, oh, I haven't seen much of this before. But then by the end of the movie, we realize that even though Abraxas really mainly shows himself during the ritual,
Mm-hmm.
the conversation, he's there the
Right.
entire time.
Yep.
The thing I'm confused about, though,
Mm-hmm.
is that Jack's wife is there too the whole time.
Right.
So let's connect the dots here.
Okay.
Because, real quick recap, they have the conversation. That's when Abraxas comes out and says that he's met Jack before. We've met before,
Right.
haven't we? Under the tall
woods.
trees.
Or tree.
In the
Yep.
tall, yeah, in the tall trees. So what we have gathered at the end of the movie is that, yes, Jack is part of this cultish group that does rituals and stuff, and he has probably done a ritual at some time where he says he would give anything
Mm.
to be number one,
Right.
to be the most famous talk show host. What he doesn't figure is that there's this demon Abraxas that is there the whole time, and that the demon takes Jack's wife.
Right.
Because at the beginning, we hear that she suddenly has lung cancer, even though she's a non-smoker.
Right.
So he takes his wife. And I think when Jack goes away, I think he's gone away with the people from the Grove, and they have talked to him and said, look, go back because your time is coming.
Right. Right.
And there's the part where Lily is first sitting down and Jack gets up and she's talking, and she talks in Minnie's voice.
Right. Yes.
So I am slightly confused at what was Abraxas and what was Minnie, because we see Minnie throughout,
Mm-hmm.
but where is she just haunting the studio along with Abraxas? Is she the one causing a lot of the problems at the beginning because she loves Jack, but she's mad at him for making this deal?
Or, I mean, has it always been Abraxas and putting that image around to remind, as like subtle reminders of what he did to his wife? Like maybe she wasn't there and it was him the whole time, but having those little glimpses, it's almost like that's right, that's my fault. I don't know.
I would feel that if Jack saw all those glimpses of Minnie.
Fair.
But a lot of times,
it's subliminal messaging, though.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of think that she's just there too.
Okay.
But maybe you're right. Maybe her and Abraxas are kind of one and the same at this point.
Well, and my thought is like maybe she's not even there. It's just him imitating her. Like she's dead. She's
Abraxas.
gone. Abraxas is just, messing with him. It's a demon. Demons mess with people.
Now I have to watch it a third time and go with that, because that would honestly make more sense than anything else. But or maybe Abraxas has her trapped. Maybe he has her soul.
Ooh, yeah.
And she's there with Abraxas, the demon, trying to get out, trying to make contact with Jack.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
There you go.
I think we're onto something.
And maybe even at the end when he stabs her, it's her. Even though it's kind of like a flashback, it's almost her like, please get me out of this. I can't do this. No,
that's
anymore.
Definitely Abraxas. That's Abraxas. Because Abraxas is tricking Jack into killing Lily.
Right.
Which ironically is going to make Jack the most famous late night host out there. Like that's going to send the ratings through the roof. People will be talking about him forever, and he'll either be in jail or dead.
Yep.
So
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't mess with those demons, man.
Don't mess with them.
Don't mess with them.
Yeah, so we have that whole ritual. And then so what did you think? We talked about the special effects, but what did you think about Carmichael Haig hypnotizing the audience and Gus and people inside that studio?
So what I liked about it is at the end, because I've seen this like on, there's talent shows on TV and stuff where you see like people hypnotize people. I've never been hypnotized. I don't think I ever will be. That being said, though, and who knows if they're hypnotized or playing along or whatever. But one thing I did like about it, though, and I don't think I would have if they hadn't have done this, is after he hypnotizes everyone, he goes, is anyone in here not hypnotized? And a few people raise their hands and say, I saw the whole thing. Like it wasn't. And I liked that, because if everyone had been hypnotized, I would have been like, that's not realistic, because I wouldn't have been hypnotized. I never have been. So I like that there were people there that hadn't been. I went, okay, that makes sense. Like I'm cool with that. And I did like how they kind of how he said, now let's prove it. And when they watched the camera back, I was like, that's smart. I like that. I kind of think that's a fun way to be like, prove a point. Do I think that many people would have been hypnotized? No. But I like that others were not hypnotized. So I think it made it more believable for me.
Did you have any clue that he was also hypnotizing the people watching at home?
No.
I'll be honest, when he had the camera focus on the wrist of the watch and it was doing the swirly thing, I looked away a little bit. I was like, wait, are they hypnotizing us? What's going on here? And I gotta admit, I looked away from the TV a little bit. I'm like, I'm not going to be hypnotized by this movie. I'm not doing it.
I love it.
Also, did you notice that obviously Lily / Abraxas was not hypnotized? Because when Gus is pulling the worms out of his stomach, she's like, why is he acting so silly?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
It's because she doesn't see the worm. She just sees him acting like an idiot.
Yep. That's awesome.
So
that's awesome. Yeah. What'd you think? Did you like it or what?
No, you took the words out of my mouth.
Okay.
So that was great. So then afterwards, they watched that tape back. Then they watched the tape back of Lily, the ritual, the conversation.
Right.
Even Carmichael at that point is like, I don't know. And then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, dude.
This was an interesting scene because I was expecting all hell to break loose at some point.
Right.
I wasn't expecting it to have so much electricity involved, though.
Me either, man. Yeah, that was random. A lot of electricity.
Yeah, it was like Lily was a conduit for electricity coming from the ceiling and into the camera.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We see at the end when Jack stabs her, her head is still intact.
Right.
But during this chaotic moment, what did you think of the whole head splitting and the two like glowing eye glows or whatever?
And when
What did you think of that
laser beam going up her head? I kind of liked it. It was like you said. I knew hell was gonna break loose. I didn't know that was gonna happen. So when it did, I was like, "What's going on? I'm here for it. Like this is crazy." So I liked it. I just thought it was wild and anarchy, and it was fun to see something like that was so different than everything we had seen. Because like I said, it was like watching a play, and then all of a sudden we see this craziness happen. Yeah. And it was kind of fun to see such a 180 all of a sudden when this demon has kind of come to power. So I was all about it. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Especially the second time. I kept watching her head and her face, and it was just so creepy looking.
Yeah, it looked good.
It also, you haven't seen this movie, but it reminded me of the movie Shocker.
Oh, really?
You need to see.
I do need to. Oh, who directed? Was it not Wes Craven?
Wes Craven.
It was Wes Craven. Okay.
Yeah,
I do need to see that.
Noble Mr. Nice Guy. You don't understand that because
I don't, but I like it.
So she kills Gus. She twists his head completely around.
Yep.
Then she kills June.
I know. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
And she kills June by holding her up by her chain, her necklace chain.
Yeah.
And then it splits her neck open.
Yeah.
And then the moment we've been waiting for, she kills Carmichael Haig. Yay.
Yeah. She like melts him.
Yeah. And then we go into the dream sequence. And basically, it's so interesting the way it happens because she throws Jack across the studio. Mm-hmm. And then he goes behind that sliding door that he comes out of at the beginning of every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the "We'll be right back" little title card.
Right.
But then I like the fact that he comes out, and I forget the order of events, but we start seeing some of the highlights of his show.
Mm-hmm.
But he is disembodied from those events. Like the events are happening as they happen, just like they happened.
Right.
But he's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, who are you? Stop this.
Yeah.
And I love when the title card "We'll be right back" comes in and then it just starts to melt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was great.
That was cool.
But then, yeah, like we mentioned, we see some flashes of bloody people and stuff. We even see a flash which I paused this one too, we see a flash of this box, this pedestal box like thing in the woods.
Right. Yes.
And I was like, what is that? And we never know what that is, but
Yeah, that one's ambiguous.
something to do with him selling his soul to the devil.
Right. Yeah.
But
we're
yeah,
not sure what-
then the whole thing happens. We see him kind of signing the contract,
Mhm.
and we realize that was him signing over his soul.
Right.
He wasn't just signing a contract to the studio, he was signing a contract to the devil.
Right.
And then we see him with his wife as she's dying, and she, like I mentioned in the 3-minute recap, she asks him to put the knife in his belly, or in her belly, and then he comes out of it and he has stabbed and killed Lily, the little girl.
Yeah. Dang, dude.
That's it. And then we see the snowy picture with the devil, right?
All
Is
right.
that-
Yeah. Yep.
that's the very last thing, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think that's the last thing you see.
Yeah, because then it says like the little, I forget what it says at the bottom, end transmission.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And then the credits.
Yeah. That was
I
pretty
love this
cool.
movie. I love this movie, man.
Yeah. It's a good time. And I like what you said. I mean, this is a good one. It really is a good one for Halloween. Like to
Yeah.
watch on a Halloween night. It's kind of perfect for that reason.
I agree.
I love it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing we haven't mentioned, because there's not a lot in there, but the score.
Yeah.
So
I don't have any notes on that, buddy. You're gonna have to take this one.
I made some notes my second viewing, because I'll say this right now. Anybody that listens to our podcast,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I am sorry I've been tripping over my words all day. I'm just
No.
excited.
You've been
stop
good,
it.
buddy.
Oh,
You
you
stop
stop
it.
it. You
I'll-
stop.
You stop
I
it.
will
So
jump through
help
this
me. I
computer.
Oh, you don't want to even know.
Ooh, I'll get you. I'll get you. I'll get you. I'm gonna get you.
I'll get you.
Oh, that took a turn.
It did.
What was that?
I know, someone-
What was I even saying? Okay, so when I make the sound bites
Uh-huh.
and I record them for the podcast that
Mhm.
I include in every episode, I try and get sound bites without music, because that could
Right.
be copyrighted. This
Yes.
one's going to be so easy to get sound bites from because there's hardly any music.
Right.
But I noticed last night watching this movie where there is music, I love it. There's like the theme to the, first of all, there's the band playing every time.
Right.
There's like a weird late night theme that plays during the end credits too, that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorites, okay? One of my favorite moments in the entire movie actually is before he brings out June and Lily.
Mm.
They play that mini documentary of the history of the cult of Abraxas,
Right.
and how June met Lily and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the music during that mini documentary because it was so like perfect. It was so authentic
Mm-hmm.
to what music in 1970s true crime documentaries sounded like. Like even true crime documentaries today, but especially back then.
Sure. Yep.
It's just got that weird throwback feel, and I loved it. And I seriously wish that the music that was in this movie was in on a soundtrack.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
So
But if-
Waxwork
but if-
Records, please put out a soundtrack vinyl for this movie. I will buy it immediately.
Is there enough though music to go on there?
Who cares? Give me an
Okay.
EP.
All right. Fair enough.
I love it. I think that's about it. Let me go over my notes real quick. I got just a couple of small little notes.
Yeah. Please.
Number one, the skeleton.
Oh
The guy-
yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So they asked David Dastmalchian about it in an interview,
Mhm.
and it's exactly what I thought, because they actually asked if he thought maybe that skeleton was a demon in disguise, but he said what I was thinking too, that it is very likely a member of the cult just keeping an eye on him. I think that probably the cult knows that this is the night that things are going to happen,
Right. Yeah. I
so
like
they're
that.
just keeping an eye on him,
Yeah.
And then I also liked that there was when they're talking about Carmichael Haig's life or
Mm-hmm.
recent history, I like that he was part of the whole Amityville thing.
Yeah.
Like he was there to debunk the Warrens and everything.
Which is amazing. Like it's perfect. That's perfect timing, perfect everything.
Love it.
Love it.
All right. Yeah. I'm ready for 3 questions. Are you?
All right. I think so. You ready? Let's do it.
Do it.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
All right, man. What was the best death/kill in this movie?
My favorite was strangely not Carmichael Haig, as much as I hated him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought June's death was just done so much. It surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it was a better looking death, like the way her neck split open and everything. I love that. I thought that was a great death.
That's fair, man.
What about you?
Mine's not Carmichael either. Mine is actually Gus, because it was so... I knew anarchy was coming, but just how quickly his was, and the head just spins, and you're like, oh, it's starting. Like, it was almost like the gun at a race. Like, here we go. And so I think that just set me up, because it was just so fast, and I went, oh gosh, he's gone. So
Nice.
neither of us said Carmichael. That's funny, man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I
Good.
would like to say Carmichael's was a good death.
It was a good death. It was gruesome. It was good. And he was a jerk. All right. This is going to be an interesting one. Was this movie scary?
Honestly, I think this movie's more fun.
Yeah.
I do think it has some creepy moments
Mm-hmm.
and unsettling moments.
Yes.
Overall, I don't know. I think it might be scary to some people. I think some people might get under their skin.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay.
Yeah. Words out of my mouth, man. Yeah. Same thing. I would say anyone that has maybe we've talked about this. We have friends that are more frightened of like possession movies. This one might scare them a little more, just with the whole possession at the end. But I didn't lose sleep, and I won't. So
There you go.
there you go. I think we already know the answer to this, but hey, we got to ask it. Did you have fun with horror?
Of course I did. I've said it multiple times. So yes, I had a lot of fun, and I honestly, this is going to be a regular movie watch for me. I really enjoyed this, and it will probably end up as one of my favorites of the year.
Nice. I'm with you, man. This was fun. It is a fun movie. It's a good time. Like you said, I love the idea of watching it every Halloween. It is definitely one of those movies that you can do that with. So, yeah, seal of approval.
Just for me and for the audience, can you say Late Night with the Devil the way you do one more time?
Late Night with the Devil.
Good to see you again, Jack.
Sorry, I don't believe we've been acquainted.
Don't be a fool. We go way back. We met amongst the tall trees. Remember?
Okay, buddy. Well, you've told me some stuff, and I'd like you to share with the listeners why you're basically going to be the dad who leaves to go to the liquor store and never comes back and abandons them all.
Oh, man. I can't remember what we're talking.
No, you're not going to be here in 2 weeks.
Oh, gosh. Sorry. I was like, wait. What did I say? Oh, man. No, I'm not. This month is just insane for us. So I am not going to.
For me, us is in your family.
My family and I, yes. So I will not be here. You'll be doing something else. But I will pick a movie still for our next episode.
The next episode with you and me.
Yes, with the two of us.
Which will likely be in 4 weeks.
Likely, yes. Yeah, yes.
So you're leaving to go to the liquor store, and it seems like you're never coming back, but in 4 weeks you'll be back to hug the kids. And everybody.
Yeah. Just taking a break, you know. No.
All right. What's you and I's next movie?
You and I will be watching one that I know you've seen because it's brand new, and I know you already watched it. It's called Infested.
Oh,
yeah, and it can be streamed upon Shudder. Yeah.
You know, I was gonna mention this at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
and I didn't, and now I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah,
because buddy, we got some stuff to talk about.
Oh boy.
But we'll have to wait a month.
Sorry. I didn't realize until recently. Is this movie in English? Or
no, it is in French.
Okay, very cool. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited.
Who's the director? I think you you're looking at it. So
Nope, I got off of it. But let me look. I will look it up right now. So it looks like I did my research. And best tip.
I'm leaving all this in, by the way.
Please do. That's all right. People can know that I'm terrible at this podcast. It's Sebastian Vanacek.
Vanacek,
Okay, Vanacek.
who is one of the directors of the 2 upcoming Evil Dead movies that are coming out.
Oh, dope. Okay, that's awesome.
So keep that in mind.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Forgot they're
Yeah.
making 2 right now. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yee.
So here's what to expect, everybody. I've mentioned this in our Facebook group, which everybody is welcome to join if you'd like. But yeah, Andrew has a busy May coming up. In 2 weeks, if everything goes according to plan, I should be back with Stanley and Alex of the Gory Gaze podcast.
Yay.
And we are going to continue our Pet Cemetery series. So we'll be doing the Pet Cemetery remake. That is our next episode.
Awesome. That's a
And
good
then-
episode, I can already tell.
There you go. And then the episode after that will be Andrew and I discussing Infested.
And I know, yeah, this one I am excited to talk to you about this one because I know you don't like spiders.
I don't like spiders at all.
You don't like spiders, so I'm very curious to talk to you about this one.
How do you feel about spiders?
I'm neutral. I don't really have a feeling. I think I don't know, they don't freak me out, I guess. I think if they're I will say some of the when I grew up in Montana and we had these ones, and I'm showing you, I kid you not, their butts were about that big all around our house, and they'd make these huge nests, and they'd burrow in their web and make these holes in them that they just sit and hide in, and those were disgusting. I hated those things.
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for that
Sorry.
visual.
Just don't go to Montana. You'll be fine. There's billions of them.
But then maybe this will be like every underwater horror movie that you watch, and it won't bother me at all.
There you
Even
go.
though that's supposedly one of the things you're scared of.
I still need I need to rework on that, man.
Rework on that.
Yeah, I work on it. I just need to
Rethink
figure
it.
out. There you
need
go.
to
That's
rethink
it.
that.
Yeah, there you go. We just did a whole podcast. I'm not thinking straight.
An entire podcast?
We did. Yep, the entire
This was-
thing. We're
That
done.
was 120 episodes, buddy.
I know. We did it. It's done.
Oh, also, everybody, I should have mentioned this. Stay tuned because I'm also once again guest hosting on Chuddle the Pod.
Woohoo!
Our friends over there, Ross, Brian, and Sam, they were nice enough to invite me back on to talk about the Hulu film No One Will Save You.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, which, who knows, we may talk about that in the far future, but we're going to leave it to me and the Chuddles. for now.
Nice. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah,
for
it
sure.
was, I'm really looking forward to that coming out as well. So we got that coming out. We've got Pet Cemetery Remake as our next episode with guests Alex and Stanley from the Gory Gaze. Then 2 weeks after that, Andrew and I will be back with Infested. And this is just in the thoughts. There may be some Patreon stuff happening soon. There may
Yeah,
be
man.
some Scotty's alone time where Andrew and I are still brainstorming about it.
Yep.
But stay
Yep.
tuned to our social medias and whatnot. And yeah, thank you for listening, everybody.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. And
God,
we're
we do
happy
love
with
you.
We do.
love you all.
All of you.
Yeah, all of you. And Andrew, I love you.
And Scotty, I love you.
I love Late Night with the Devil.
Late night with the devil.
What is that? Worms.
Jeez, guys!
That's right, worms. Dozens of them, hundreds of them. Just stay calm, Gus.
No, they're inside of me. I can feel them.
Show me.
Get them out!
They are coming. Oh boy. Okay, let's stop there.